this Kendrick Lamar and Drake's beef is going way too far. Listen, Kendrick Lamar dropped his 6-minute diss at Drake, and he's hitting below the belt for sure. Kendrick Lamar's new diss track, Euphoria, aims to prove that Drake is indeed a fraud, and he's revoking Drake's hood pass. Not only that, Kendrick sets the record straight that Drake is a fraud, and he leverages his hood credibility that he never truly earned. This is crazy.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 45 minutes.
You done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
You got knocked the fuck out! What's happening?
Yes, in Kendrick's latest track, Euphoria, he comes at Drake's neck for real. He's basically saying that Drake, he's poking holes in Drake's gangster image, and he denounces Drake and his manager Chubb's hood pass. In other words, this is what he's saying. Y'all not real. Y'all are pretenders that got everybody fooled. Signing with Lil Wayne's Young Money gave y'all undeserved street credibility, but your hood pass has now been revoked. And we're going to go deeper. We're going to dive deeper into this, and you're going to see just how far and crossing the line this Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef has gotten to. Somebody is going to eventually have to step in. These rap beefs are off the chain. Now, to dive in a little deeper, to go a little deeper into it, in Kendrick Lamar's track of Euphoria, he says he knows some things about the OVO camp that will make Gunna want to look like a saint, right? And he goes on. Kendrick also warns Drake that he's highly skilled at physical combat. And if he ever references his wife in the track again, he gonna find something out, right? And Drake apparently referenced Kendrick's wife in his push-up diss. So look at what's happening. When you start referencing people's loved ones and families, that's out of bounds. You know, so now you're triggering the deepest of the deep emotions out of that person. So he mentioned Kendrick's wife. This beef apparently be getting overextended, heading down the wrong path. Now, this rap beef is starting to resemble the Chris Brown and Quavo's beef. Because they're alleging that Chris Brown went as far as to buy out Quavo's concert to where only a few people showed up to kind of try to humiliate Quavo. But that car, he had to spin a grip on that. But look at the lengths that he's willing to go through just to try to humiliate the other person. That's dangerous. So to say this, the poke holes to bring Kendrick Lamar's wife into the fold, and she doesn't rap from what I understand on any of that. So why bring her into the fold? But wait till you hear what Kendrick fires back at Drake. And listen, this thing is crazy. Like I said, Kendrick didn't just sit on that. He came right back at Drake. Kendrick also took shots at Drake's manhood, calling him a coward for not responding to Pusha T and for filing the cease and desist over his Like That feature. So they're getting real personal. They're bringing up stuff that the public may not have known, but we're going to dive even deeper. Check this out. See, it's been alleged for years that Drake had ghostwriters. And sure enough, Kendrick took shots at Drake ghostwriters saying they've been looking for him, putting word out for him, checking for him because they want to try to dig up dirt on Kendrick. So I guess that can add to Drake's fire on these tracks and on these diss tracks, right? So in turn, Kendrick rips Drake for his alleged plastic surgery. It's crazy, right? But even before that, right? Kendrick Lamar is basically calling Drake a fraud, but Kendrick is not done. He calls Drake a scammer, right? Because remember, the ghostwriters said that he didn't appreciate Drake taking shots at Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. So basically with Kendrick Lamar's angle, it seems as though he's trying to discredit Drake, and you're going to hear the biggest discredit coming in a second, but he's trying to discredit Drake, calling him a fraud, and then supporting it with the fact that you got ghostwriters, the fact that you really not from the hood, and you're going to hear some other distinct things, but they hidden way below the belt. There should be some flags thrown. Somebody need to step in and put some parameters on these rap beefs, because I don't want to see violence break out or something even worse. Somebody get killed. This is crazy. Now, as I mentioned, Kendrick fired right back. He ripped Drake for his alleged plastic surgery. Now, look how clever, listen how clever this line was to poke holes at Drake and to put on blast that he got, all of a sudden, you got a 18 pack and you used to be looking like Fat Albert. Now you got a 2,500 pack on your stomach. So, but no, I'm just joking. But here it is. This is what Kendrick said about Drake. So yeah, my first one, like my last one, it's a classic. You don't have one. Let your core audience stomach that and tell them where you got your abs from. So listen at the key little points. He said, it's a classic. You don't have one. Let your core, physical core too, but it also references like a double entendre. Core really references his majority followers, right? Let your core audience stomach that. So he was already building up to rip him apart with the plastic surgery. Tell them where you got them abs from. That's crazy. So I love the creativity though. Don't get it twisted. And that's the beauty of these rap beefs. And then when you look back to where rap first started and some of the beefs that emerged, some of them got heated verbally, but other than the Tupac and Biggie thing, but there's speculation about that. There's some other things that's untold. But however, they never really spilled over. So you just learn to enjoy the artistry and enjoy the creativity that they're using to go at the other person. But it seems like these days it's getting a little out of bounds because when you bring in people's wives into the fold and you're starting to bring up personal things that the public is not supposed to know, how is that person not going to feel some kind of way and be in their feelings just a little bit? I'm just saying, this thing is crazy. So in order to sum all this up from Kendrick Lamar's perspective, and I think I'm catching it to a degree, basically, Kendrick Lamar's lyrics are basically calling Drake a fraud, hands down, and he's supporting it with evidence. You didn't earn your physique just like you didn't earn your career because you got these ghostwriters. So he's trying to lay a foundation that Drake is a fraud, and here's the evidence. Now, Kendrick also took more shots below the belt saying that Drake is not even black. Ooh, no, you didn't. He's going at his biracial, background, and that's unfortunate. That's way, way below the belt, saying he's not even black, and crazy. So this initially started with J. Cole and Drake. Well, J. Cole really said it's the big three, meaning him, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar. But then it was kind of like a semi-compliment to Kendrick Lamar, but also Kendrick Lamar took it as a diss, like, no, y'all ain't on my level. I'm the only one. And that's what started it, so, but J. Cole gracefully bowed out and said, listen, I'm a man of God. This don't really fit my character. Don't get me wrong. I spit crazy with the best of them, but I got a feeling that this is going a little out of bounds. I don't want to be going at nobody's neck and going, spitting violence and having it escalate and taking me out of my character. And if you even remember, J. Cole and Puffy, had a something that went back and forth on the track, and Puffy, made mention of him fighting, or they got in a little scuffle or something happened. But I know that's not J. Cole's bag. So I commend him for being able to stand up with integrity and say, look, I don't care how y'all gonna perceive me. Look at me as a nut or whatever, but I'm gracefully bowing out. So I respected that. So I think Kendrick Lamar also respected that because it seems like he's showing, he's not taking more shots at J. Cole. But Kendrick Lamar made it very clear, I don't play no games, right? So Cole and Aubrey know I'm selfish. The crown is heavy. I pray they my real friends, but if not, I'm YNW, Melly. That's Kendrick Lamar. He like, look, I pray that they my real friends, but if they not, I'm still Gucci. He said the crown is heavy. I'm the king. And I respect it because on the truth, Kendrick Lamar, he is that bull, but they all talented. Drake and, J. Cole as well. They all talented in their own way, but Drake, you kind of, you got the ghostwriter. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not really authentic. And then, he's showing, he taking shots at the plastic surgery because Drake been pudgy wudgy for a minute since he been out. And then all of a sudden you rep with abs with a 3,000 pack on your joint. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy because I didn't even know about the alleged plastic surgery and any of that, but these rap beefs are heating up. So I hope they're able to keep the main thing, because the creativity is off the chain. Like, I love what it's bringing out of some of these artists, and hopefully they can keep it within the bounds of artistry. Because once it crosses those bounds and gets violent or escalates, it could possibly get violent, and hopefully never to the worst degree, which is to death, right? So again, let's enjoy each other. Let's enjoy these rap artists' ability and talents, but let's also encourage and look for them to keep the main thing the main thing. Thank you so much for watching, right? So you be great, and more importantly, be blessed.